Awesome. And we are live. Welcome everybody to Gamma Cure. Today we're going to be talking about a specific study on 40 hertz and how it triggers the microglia. So today we're going to be talking about brain repair. And I remember when I was studying, I don't know if I was studying or if it was just something that we talked about in university or high school, when they would tell us that if you kill brain cells, they would never come back, right? That you can't repair your brain.
Yeah, I didn't learn it in school, actually. I think it was when I was older. When I actually found out, and when you hit your head somehow, the brain cells just die by itself, right? And I've never thought about what happens to those dead cells inside the brain.
Yeah, and I didn't know also that there's, like our immune system, we have white blood cells, right?
Yeah.
But the brain also has an immune cell, a neuroimmune cell, and it's called the microglia. The problem is, how do you stimulate that microglia? And it happens during REM sleep, right? It gets stimulated during REM sleep.
And actually, I've learned just recently about microglia, and the way I would try to explain what it does is that it's basically just like a janitor fish. And I was referring to when I find that out. Before, I didn't even think about how those dead cells inside my brain, where do they go? Right? Do I poo them or where does it come out?
You can't, because there's the blood-brain barrier.
Exactly.
Right? So,
and just recently found out that this microglia is really just, it just eats them up. And it's like it's like an alien inside the brain where it just has multiple tentacles and just grabs on to all of these cells in the brain. It's just amazing that, the God has built something inside us, not only in our body, but also in the main region of our head to create that kind of regeneration.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what is it called? A fish? What type of fish is that?
Janitor fish.
Janitor fish. And so what it's doing is it's cleaning up the seabed, something like that?
Yeah, it does. Okay. And a lot of people who own aquariums would have a janitor fish, because if you don't have that, you would have to
manually
always clean it, right? Every so often, every week or two, you have to clean it up. And by having those fish, it actually cleans up the whole area, and it prevents the spread of algae.
Interesting. And yeah, that's exactly what the microglia does, but you need to activate it, right?
Yeah.
And it has these tentacles to clean the brain, but how is it activated? It's only activated during REM sleep. And how often, like if you would get a full 8 hours sleep in a night, maybe 1.5 hours to 2 hours of REM sleep, right? So that's 1.5 hours to 2 hours of microglia activation in the brain. And so for some people who are not getting good sleep, or over time you get less and less sleep,
right?
And the brain, this immune cell just can't catch up to a lot of the environmental damage and oxidative stress that your brain is getting. So it starts developing neurofibrillary tangles, NFTs, brain plaque, brain inflammation, and eventually, as we get older, you just can't combat that, right? So here, what they're finding is that this specific frequency actually activates right here it says that 40 hertz flicker leads to increases in the expression of cytokines which promote microglia phagocytic states. So this is
what are those?
So a phagocytic state is when the body is in self-repair. Like you talk about autophagy and how when you fast it stimulates or activates autophagy. It's because gut biome autophagy that begins healing your digestive system. Well, this is the same thing. Once the microglia is activated, it begins cleaning the brain. And so these specific, it says here IL-6, IL-4, so these gene expressions are then activated, and then it begins cleaning the brain, which is why I think in human studies and obviously in these animal studies, it's been shown that even when the mice have the Alzheimer's gene, when they're given this treatment, they don't express it, even though they have the gene. Their brain doesn't degenerate.
Wow. And in the study as well, it's also showing that just an exposure of 5 minutes to 60 minutes is enough to trigger it.
Yeah.
Imagine how much, like 2 hours or 3 hours of exposure would actually allow the regeneration or cleanup of the brain.
Yeah, and I think we've experienced that from using the device, right? So MIT they have these very large devices. Obviously, you have to plug them in, high wattage. And we wanted to make it accessible. Like, how can someone have this in their home? How can you have it in your office? How can you have it in a car? And so we developed this edible lights, and this is actually that frequency. And what's great about it is that you can take it with you if you're in Europe, if you're in Asia, if you're in the US, and it stimulates that. But the trick is, it needs to be in front of you, right?
Yeah. Well, at least the peripheral. At least it can see, the eye can see the flickering of the light. And I just wanted to share, that there's, my wife has Moya disease, and it's a brain degenerative disease. And as I said when we met, I didn't actually know that, it may have an effect on her brain. And we got to a point wherein she was having mild strokes every 2 weeks. And with this device, after a period of 5 months of continuous use, minimum of 4 to 6 hours of exposure, she stopped having mild strokes. And we're now almost a year into this.
Yeah, that's right. A miracle.
And we don't have it. My wife hasn't had any mild stroke symptoms, nor had any issues. I mean, she had minor phantom smells.
Smelling, yeah.
Yeah, but no mild strokes, which was forcing us to go to the ER every now and again.
Yeah.
And thanks to this device, we're now, it's just all over our house. And I also, I'm not sure if I shared this with you. We were with her doctor, Dr. Smith, and we shared that, we were receiving 40 hertz light therapy. And he wasn't really shocked, right? And he was saying
aware
that,
of the technology.
Yeah, he's aware of the technology. He knows that this kind of things, especially brain injury patients or Alzheimer's, or I'm assuming even Moya Moya disease patients, also do 40 hertz light therapy. But the thing was, when my wife told her that, we just have it in the car, we have it at the house, and he was so shocked that it was available that way, because he knows that this treatment is available, but only in huge facilities, right? So you have to go there, pay for a light therapy session for an hour. We just have it.
Yeah.
And he's actually asking us to actually show it to him. So.
Yeah, it's incredible that, we want to, our goal is to be able to democratize it so that brain health and really brain maintenance is available to everybody, because we're doing that with everything, right? We're doing blood pressure maintenance, we're doing what else? Heart rate maintenance, we're doing blood sugar maintenance,
diabetes,
everything, right?
Yeah,
but we haven't found really a solution for the brain, and this is something that's non-invasive. I think a lot of people aren't aware that, wow, you can actually trigger the mechanism and the neural cell that heals your brain, that actually repairs your brain.
Well, not only that, it's kind of a superpower, actually. It's not only does it heal or clean up your brain, but it also, if you guys have heard of neuroplasticity, it also promotes the gamma brain waves. The waves that are causing this is also creating neuroplasticity, which allows you, better memory.
That's right.
Better,
for school.
Yeah, exactly.
Work.
For school, for work, and all those things. And I've had a lot of benefits to this, which was initially for my wife, but even I can now drive without GPS, because I remember I have spatial awareness now, unlike before.
And before you couldn't, you said that for how many years that you would always need someone to direct you? Or
Oh, it's always been, right? Only when we were exposed to this one for a minimum of, she was exposed to a minimum of 5 months. I was exposed to at least 3 months of this. But then I was able to, I think, and I'm not sure 100%, but maybe around the 7th month, it started to develop.
Yeah, and that was about for us as well. So my son had a lot of trouble with just being in front of people, and he was extremely shy. He was very sensitive to light, to sound, anything that was really loud sound. He would shy away from social interactions. Very hard time just making eye contact with others, and also with schooling, very tough time to really concentrate on his schoolwork. So he was like a D student, a C student, and it was about that mark, about the 6 month mark to 12-month mark, give or take. Then all of a sudden his schooling improved. All of a sudden he liked to be around people. All of a sudden he always played the piano, but he would play it super softly. Now he was just blasting it. He had no sensitivity to loudness now, sound. Yeah. And then I think the first 12 months of using the device, and we had it on just like you, we would have it on almost a few hours a day, and he got his honor roll all of a sudden.
Yeah.
His grades went up. His
wow,
social skills
amazing.
went up. He got the social award at school. And then just last year, he finally got his first, I think it was in the last semester, he got his first principal honor roll. So everything just started going up for him, his ability to concentrate, his ability to focus. So it's affected a lot, not just myself, my wife, yourself, your wife, but also our kids as well.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't have time to really go into all of that today. But we just want to share with you this study, which proves that there is a mechanism of action that's somehow stimulating the microglia, which plays an important role in immune function. They still don't know why it's doing it. They don't know how it's doing it, but for whatever reason, it's recruiting the microglia, and it is the main immune cell of the brain. And then just like what's it called? What's the fish called?
The janitor fish.
The janitor fish.
Yeah.
That's what it's doing.
Yeah.
You have brain plaques, you have inflammation buildup, you have tangle buildup, and what it's doing is it's cleaning out all of that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that's yet to be explored on microglia.
Yeah.
I know that there's some scientists still trying to find out its function and other things as well, but it's right now, this is one of the things that it's superpower. It's a superpower.
It is a superpower, really. And, for a lot of people, at least, it's available, right? A lot of people are not aware. So if you guys want to check it out, we will actually be trying to get a free sample on the website as well. But if you want to get access to this now, it's available up until the new year, or we're hoping that there'll be a new model for it. But if you head over to ediblelights.com, you'll be able to order this exact model. We'll be upgrading this model, but this one is just as good as the ones in the studies.
Yeah.
We've calibrated it to be 40.005 in accuracy. So yeah, I mean, if you know anybody with neurodegenerative disorder, disease, dementia, autism, anybody on the spectrum, ADHD, OCD, even mental health, or even spatial, moya, anything like that. Brain damage too. We have friends.
Disorders,
anything
right?
neurodegenerative. What did one of our close friends, Tito Burt? He had he got hit by
brain injury.
Brain injury.
Oh man,
a really bad brain injury. They've been using it. His memory is. We were just driving with him yesterday. Okay, I haven't told you the story. So he goes, we left the house when we had 97665 kilometers, and now we have da da da. And I was like, you remember the exact amount of kilometers? He remembered the odometer.
The odometer, yeah.
When we left the house, and he said, and now we're at 97 da da da. And I thought, wait, Tito Burt, you remembered where we were when we left? He said, yeah, we were at 97665. And we were all shocked because we're like, Tito Burt, your memory has really improved. He's remembering names now.
He couldn't even remember my daughter or my son's names before, but now he's remembering numbers now even.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Wow.
Right? And so you were talking about gray matter, neuroplasticity.
Yes.
But we also found out, just in a video that we did, I think last week, we're talking about white matter. And white matter is the connectors, right? Gray matter is new information. White matter is the connectors. And so if your white matter is not functioning properly, what's going to happen is it's going to disconnect. So you're not going to know, okay, what's that word that I was thinking about? What's that person's name again?
So brain fog.
Brain fog, or not being able to say certain words, or lack of emotional regulation, self-control. And the white matter is actually helping that connection go faster. And so the exact action of mechanism, they're still not sure also, but they know that this specific light therapy has benefited not just the gray matter now, but also the white matter. And this is in human trials.
Right.
So this is not the study we're covering here, but maybe we'll study that.
Yeah, maybe we can cover that out in a different episode.
Yeah. But for now, I hope you guys have learned from that. If you have anybody, please let us know. We'll be happy to help. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And yeah, we hope that this light brings you life. And that is our goal, to really be able to democratize this. With your help, we would be able to democratize it and also help those around us in our families, our friends who have neurodegenerative disorders, and really to help them in a way that is cost effective and that is non-invasive. And you just need to use it. Again, it's got to be in front of you. Make sure it's not facing out, right? It's facing, you're able to see it because it works through the visual cortex.
And it can be far. As long as your eye can see it, it should be enough.
Yes, that's right. However, in the studies that they had it somewhat close, so we have different brightness settings, right? So you can see here that if it's far away, you could probably put on a larger...
Brighter light.
Yeah, exactly, a brighter setting. So there you guys have it, but if you have any questions, please let us know. We're here to help any way we can. And until next time, remember that light is life, and that you have this device, then hopefully it can add light to your life. And that is our hope, and that is our prayer for all of you. Okay? Well, we'll see you again next time. Have a great afternoon, have a great evening, have a great morning, wherever you guys are. God